Welcome back, Ethan.
All right, and welcome back to
This is pretty close,
Policy and
anyway.
Politics. Of course, I'm Michael, and this show is still under development, but there's some very important things that we want to get out there. We want to tell people, and today, you when you go to our blog at depictions.media, you'll see that we posted a report in video from the Secretary Nielsen of Homeland Security in the United States. She's reporting, of course, on the so-called emergency at the southern border of the U.S. that Donald Trump is saying is in existence. And, of course, she supports Donald Trump, but it's her reasoning why she actually supports him with statements about traffic and number of arrests and seizures that are actually happening at that border. She does state some interesting statistics about once they've allowed certain types of people looking for asylum into the United States, that if they haven't had their due process, they seem to have disappeared. And I think one of the reasons, my personal opinion, is one of the reasons why some of these people have disappeared is because they figured that, well, the United States is actually going to turn them back around again. So they've ventured more forward across the U.S. into, of course, Canada, where the country is a little more welcoming to immigrants. At this point, with Donald Trump and how he's viewing human rights and things, is the U.S. going to be the best place for you to try to migrate from South America when you're trying to get out of oppression? So, and is Canada going to be much more suited with their policies of how they've taken in people from the Middle East with Syria and things like that? So, well, we'll see how more of that plays out down there in the U.S. with the wall that Donald Trump actually wants, and how that money will get spent. The Congressional Committee, most of the people in the Congressional Committee are saying that the wall probably isn't going to be the best way to do things, and that they need a more technological way of actually targeting those people who are trying to participate in illegal activities such as human trafficking and the trafficking of fentanyl, which they did say at one point that they seized enough fentanyl at one point to kill every American citizen twice over. Now that's a lot of. It doesn't take a lot of fentanyl to actually overdose somebody. So it's not an amount of pounds or anything like that. It's actually amount of doses and critical doses in this particular statement. So, and from my understanding, it doesn't take a lot to actually cause an overdose with fentanyl, and it's being mixed into things like heroin and to give, of course, that better high. So it's something also that in Canada we need to be a little more careful of, because if the people are traveling across the U.S. Into Canada, it's not to say that these illegal drugs are going to cross the Texas border or the Arizona border and then stay in the United States. They're going to travel across also. Still not really giving a need for a wall, but giving a way to detect illegal activities using technology would be the better way of doing things, at least in my opinion, on this one, and it would support better the human rights issues that are going on around the world and those people looking for that asylum. Okay, so of course we still have more on SNC Lavalin and Ottawa, of course, putting hearings together and gathering testimony on what actually has happened. Michelle Rempel of Calgary, Nose Hill, Alberta, she spoke about what was going on with this and how that not only should Jody Wilson-Raybould be testifying, but the Prime Minister himself, Justin Trudeau, should be testifying in how this was actually handled, because SNC Lavalin, not only were they trying to avoid criminal prosecution for bribery and other underhanded dealings, in which case the RCMP was actually trying to bring charges to them, under the idea of saving jobs, that by charging these people for illegal activities and limiting them from being able to bid for federal contracts and things, then that the job loss was going to be too harsh. So they were actually lobbying to be held exempt from federal prosecution for underhanded dealings, and that shouldn't be. Michelle Rempel stated that very clearly that shouldn't be, and that all those who, it isn't just a matter of misconduct, that this is a matter of aiding and abetting criminal activity in this particular case. And I'd like to see what more these committees have to bring about, because there should be a fairness in how jobs are applied for and how jobs are given, and lobbying for legislation changes to grease the path for more corporate profits. There's just something wrong with that. So go Michelle Rempel of Calgary, Nose Hill, Alberta, and I hope that she actually was well heard, and that something is done about bribing to get those contracts that it shouldn't be. Okay, so that's it for us for today here at Policy and Politics. We try to report on more rights and things as they happen. So we will see you tomorrow, and do tune in for the Influence Club later on at about 5. Talk to you later.